Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Konich-Yeehaw podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
And, well, first of all, we'd like to wish you all happy holidays.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Hopefully everybody had a good holiday.
Ours has been very busy.
Ours has been very busy, very long. Still going on whenever we're recording this. But we're nearing the end of the holidays. And with that, we end another anime season. So we want to review what we watched this season. Technically, it's fall.
Yes.
Fall of 23. So, starting off with the things that continued from last season or just previously. Spy X Family season 2 came out, and I know that whenever we did our What's in Season episode, I was kind of like, oh man, there's not a lot of like plot happening. It got, once we entered the actual arc of the season, a lot of plot happened.
Really though?
The ship.
Yeah, and that's about it.
Yeah, but that was most of the season.
Was it? I think
Pretty
that was
sure it
only
was.
like 3 or 4 episodes.
It was maybe 4, maybe 5 episodes.
I'd say 4 max.
Really?
Yeah. I really don't think it
Okay.
was very many episodes.
Okay. Well, we do have an actual arc where something happens.
Yeah, let's just say there is one arc that happens, and then the season ends on some random episode.
Really random episode. Kind of awkward. But so the arc that does happen was good.
Yeah.
Essentially everybody goes on a cruise, but Yor is on the cruise working as a bodyguard, and then Anya wins a raffle so her and Lloyd can also get on the cruise. But Yor is technically working, so they don't really see each other like at all during the cruise. And Anya knows that she's working. Part of the humor, right? So this was obviously this is a very Yor-centered arc.
Hooray!
Yay! And I actually think it's pretty funny because recently we had a anime that's good for kids, and we were like, yeah, Spy X Family, not much really happens. Like, we know that they're assassins, but there's not a lot there. Yor gets very violent during this arc. It is very violent and very gory, or more gory than what has been shown.
There's blood.
There's a lot of blood,
I don't think there's gore.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess gore is the wrong word, but
it's
there's
just
a
very
lot
bloody.
of blood. There's a lot of blood.
It's very bloody.
Yeah. So maybe I take it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
But obviously the biggest like part of the season, which was this arc, is that Yor is starting to question or was starting to question why she is still doing this. Because at first it was to like protect her.
Being an assassin.
Yes, being an assassin. At first it was to protect her little brother, but her little brother is like a man now and doesn't really need her protection. So then she just kind of started thinking, why am I really doing this? And didn't really go anywhere, but she started thinking about it.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's still funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely still funny, but the cruise was really the only plot that happened. So Anya just hasn't been in school the entire season.
Yeah. Except at the very end.
Well, I guess the whole point was that the cruise was the summer vacation.
Yeah, the cruise.
So then she comes back from it, and there is the point where like going on a cruise isn't that fancy to private school kids.
Yeah.
She's very disappointed in that, but next is Dark Gathering, which concluded this season.
Speaking about anime not for kids.
Okay, yes, definitely. So Dark Gathering concluded this season. This second half was wild.
Yes.
The second half was a lot. If you are a fan of creepypasta style horror, perfect for you. Perfect.
Oh, that's a great way to put it.
Yeah. And you know what I thought was really interesting is because they do a lot of cliffhangers, right? Like they would start a haunt and then you have to wait until next week to see how it, resolved itself. It was at the end of the the halfway point of the kid with the meatballs.
Mm-hmm.
You were like, this is some real creepypasta stuff. And the thing is that I never really got into creepypasta, so I don't really know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that means. I'm just going to be honest with you.
Oh, okay.
I don't.
Yeah. Meaning like, so
It's just like scary beyond belief. Like,
kind of, yeah.
essentially.
Yeah. A lot of creepypastas are like scary, like in an absurd way.
Mm-hmm.
So like a famous one is like Sonic.exe, which is like, it's the regular Sonic game, but it's all bloody and there's like a corpse of Sonic and like the Tails doll is all possessed and it's all bloody.
Okay.
And so like it's absurd.
Uh-huh.
Like, and so the meatballs, absurd.
The meatballs are absurd, although I will say that what you're describing does sound like there's more comedy in it.
It's not supposed to be comedic though.
It's not supposed to be?
Not supposed to be
Okay.
comedic. It's like
Okay.
the target audience for creepypasta, personally, okay, this is debatable. The
Okay.
target audience for creepypastas are like 12-year-olds.
Okay, that's fair.
So that it's scary for
It's
12-year-olds.
scary for 12-year-olds. Yeah.
This is like
Still pretty scary.
pretty scary.
Yeah.
Like this is disturbing. And the whole point of creepypastas is that they're disturbing.
It's disturbing. Yeah.
But it's a lot of times it's like some like disturbing thing that's like the image with it is like very bloody and like,
Right.
things like that.
Creepy.
And so
and
yeah.
things like that. Yeah. So that's what Dark Gathering is, though.
Yeah.
The team is we're still going to different haunts, leveling up their demons
Yes.
and things like that, and still capturing more demons or spirits, however you want to look at it. It is getting a lot more descriptive in the sense of like how she's exercising.
Yeah.
And like the plans are getting more elaborate.
There's like actual plot now.
Yeah, the plans are getting more elaborate. So how this season ends, just go ahead and say it. How this season ends is they are preparing to battle God. Well, a god.
Yes.
Sorry. They're preparing to battle a god. But there are like 10 steps that they need to take before battling this god.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. The thing is that it sounds ridiculous, but it makes sense.
It's everything this season has been leading up to.
Yes.
Which I think is really, really funny because they set up, so there are 5 places that they're going to go to.
Make a pentagram.
And those 5 places are all haunted places.
Yes.
So typical episode layout means that each of those 5 places will have roughly 2 episodes per place.
Yes.
Meaning 10 episodes, then that leaves the last 2 episodes for the final battle.
Right.
But this is all supposed to happen in a night.
Yes.
This is all going to happen in one night.
Well, and I wonder about that. If it is actually going to happen in a night, or if they do plan on maybe doing like 3 one day, 2 another day.
See,
like just trying to do it as quickly as they can, because I mean this is a really big area that they're covering.
yes, but
maybe
they
you
said
know
that
plot
it's all before they meet up with that one girl
with the girl
in
hospital,
in the hospital, and so
Yeah.
like yeah,
you know plot. We don't need to worry about the holes.
Yeah.
They haven't happened yet.
Yeah.
Even so, but it is really interesting. It is a really interesting show. And then you continued.
Yes. So I am continuing. This is a season 2. It's not a season continuation, but it's Girlfriend, which is an excellent plot of I have a girlfriend, and then another girl asked me out, and I couldn't turn her down. So now I have 2 girlfriends. Which first season was for the most part all about that relationship. And then they like slowly introduced more characters. And by more, I mean like 2. That were also like, oh, I like you too. Really, so second season, worse than the first.
Okay.
Straight up. Just worse than the first season. And the reason for that is because they kind of focused less on the main two girls. Where the first half was like kind of focusing on the main two girls. And then I guess the overall plot of the second season is that the original girlfriend has yet to kiss the boyfriend. And this entire season is a setup for them. Like, the overarching plot is for them to have their first kiss in a special moment. So that's not just like a, like, okay, we kissed.
Right.
And so, like, one thing leads to another. And I actually really like the main three characters. Like, so it's a boy who is stupid beyond belief.
Okay.
He is very dumb. He is like, he's dumb, offensive. Instead of like 100
like
girlfriends.
himbo.
Yes, he's a himbo. Like, he's like, I will do whatever I need to make sure that my girlfriends are happy. But it's realistic, unlike 100 girlfriends, which it's just like
absurd.
Over the top.
Yeah.
This is basically the show, the realistic version of, like, this is the show like 100 girlfriends must be like directly parroting. Because this is like polyamory realistic, where it's just like, okay, there's like, I have two girlfriends, I'm two timing, which they bring that up all the time. They're like, you know, we're two timing. This is like, the end goal is kind of complicated here.
Right. Yeah.
And then it's really funny. One thing that's really funny is that the other two characters, the other two love interests, or if you want to call them that, are just like, they're okay characters. One of them is literally like an e-girl. Like,
she's a streamer, right?
She's a streamer, yeah.
Right.
But like, she's a titty streamer.
Okay.
And but it's so funny because like, the main guy wants nothing to do with her. It is hilarious. Like, obviously they still have to have plot, so they're like, you know, halfway through the season they're like, okay, I'm going to pull some BS, and the compromise that they come to is, I will give you, I think it's a month to try to win me over, like, to try to make me have feelings for you. And if you do not succeed in that 1 month, then you have to stop, like, you have to give up on me.
Okay.
And it's very stupid. Like I said, this main character is so stupid. Like, the things he comes up with is ridiculous, in like a bad way. And so he's just like, it's just funny because he's just like not having it at all with like anything that she does. And it's like so like not typical for a harem anime,
Right?
because like, he's just not having it. He's like, I will stay faithful to my two girlfriends and I don't care about anyone else.
Right.
And then they introduced a fourth girl, which was in the first season, but she's the first girlfriend's best friend. And she's like, oh, I don't want to hurt my friend's feelings by telling them that I have feelings for her boyfriend. Long, very stupid sequence happens. Long story short, she does end out confessing.
Of course.
And the compromise that they came up with is, she basically, she was like, if you're able to love two people, what's stopping you from loving three people?
It's a big brain move right there.
So basically she was like, once you've made your two girlfriends happy, then if you have any energy left, like, I'm here. If you have any energy left, I'm here.
Of course.
And so, and like, it's really funny because like, the main girl, or like the first girlfriend and the boyfriend are just like shocked by this. And they're just like, I mean, I guess like, because the streamer girl, her whole thing is that she's trying to become number one, to where he breaks up with his two girlfriends for her.
Right.
But this fourth girl, she's like, I just want to join.
Right.
So she's like, I'm gonna help you out. And
Yeah.
so it's a weird situation. There are some really funny moments in the show though. And I really like the characters, but honestly, it's like a 6 out of 10 show, or like 5 out of 10 show. You know, it's like, it's pretty garbage.
Okay.
Pretty garbage.
Yeah.
Like, but it's fun for what it is. It's my type of show. Which leads us into the better version of the show.
100 girlfriends. The 100 girlfriends who really, 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 really like me or love me. Sorry. So this show is great.
The show is fantastic.
This show is all of the humor. Like it is a harem anime with all of the humor, but also they all love each other.
Yes.
Which is beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yes.
So right now we have 5
girls. No.
No, sorry.
6.
We're gonna no. Hold
But
on.
we'll talk about
one
that.
second. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we have 5 girls.
Okay.
We'll
Yeah.
talk about the 6th
Yeah,
one
yeah.
later. So we have 5 girls. 2 of them actually really love each other.
Yeah.
2 of them will like make out with each other. I mean, like subconsciously, but like, you know, they love each other. There is a lot of really fun, humorous moments where they are helping each other out, just interacting with each other, and they're all just very cool with each other. It's great.
Yeah.
It really is great.
There's no ill will in it.
No, there's no ill will. Of course, there is some jealousy, but
Yeah.
it's resolved fairly quickly.
It's most of the jealousy is resolved with a my turn.
Yes, absolutely. So, okay, the big conflict that happens towards the second half is that one of the girls, who is like the big titty, kind of like flirty one, her mom learns that she's in this polyamorous relationship and is like, I'm not having that. Very sensible reaction, by the way.
Yes, very sensible reaction.
She's like, I'm not having that. That sounds terrible for you. And now I forbid you from seeing them, and you are transferring schools. Like, you know, very over the top reaction. Because she's rich, by the way. Which they also didn't know that about her. So whenever they go to her house and realize it's gated with guards.
Yeah, it's like a mansion.
It's like a mansion.
Yeah.
So the mother is like, you can't be with them anymore, like a overarching them. And the guy, Rentaro, is like, I'm going to break you out of your home and we're gonna run away together. And of course all of the other girlfriends are like, me too, because they also love her.
Yeah.
So cue heist like antics trying to break out the girlfriend. They get caught. So okay, wait. Let's talk about the ridiculousness of how this is all set up. One of the girlfriends is into pharmaceuticals, and they come across like spy movie lasers that they can't see. So this girl who's into pharmaceuticals says, I have eye drops that will make you see the lasers, but you're not going to be able to see much else. Like, it's going to blind you for a little bit. So the boyfriend takes those eye drops, can't see anything but the lasers, does the spy thing, gets caught anyway, gets taken to the mom, and he can't see. This is important. He can't see. Gets taken to the mom. They have this like kind of like a heart to heart, because she explains like her really bizarre childhood also. And then he starts to cry because it's a moving story and he's very sensitive.
Yes.
So the eye drops wear off. He looks at the mother, and there's a spark with the mother.
Why did they do that?
And it was a cliffhanger. Oh my goodness, we were screaming. And she loses all of the composure that she has had, that we have seen her with, and just collapses and is a puddle of horniness also.
Yeah.
But now she's like a mother. Like she's older. Everybody else is around the same age.
You know what? I will say this. It is she's only like, she's 16 years older than him.
She's 16 years older than him, which is still a sizable gap.
Yeah, it is a sizable gap, but it's not like 40.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like 26.
Well,
no, sorry,
30.
29. She's 29.
29, almost 30, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but either way,
I'm not defending it.
No,
I'm not defending it.
Yeah, so she just like turns into a puddle. Because she's also a romantic. I mean, she's just like her daughter, and she's very flirty. And they all say, fuck it. And they all like spend the weekend together in this mansion.
Playing dress up
and getting to know each other. Like all of them getting to know each other.
Yeah.
And it's so ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. And it ends with the mother now bought the school.
Yeah.
Because she's rich, right? She bought the school so that she can be at the school to be with her boyfriend. And then we get slightly teased what the next few girls are going to be like.
Yeah.
Which hopefully it gets animated. I think that'd be great if it got animated. Looks like we got some interesting girls to add into the mix. We got, what was it? It was like emo, sporty, preppy. There was one more.
There's goth. Like the goth and emo were different.
Yes. They were different. When I say emo, I meant like more moody. I don't know how to say it. It's like
Grunge-ish.
hipster, like grungy. Yeah, grungy. And then there was like goth, like cloak and black hair and, but it was really funny. Definitely ecchi. So if you're not into that, not for you. A lot of sexual humor, but very funny.
It's great. It was great. You know what? Let me see that for a second.
What?
You know what? It might be my favorite show of the season.
It might be mine as well. Actually, I think it is. I'm going to go ahead
it's my favorite show of the season.
It's between that and then the last one that we're going to talk about. Okay, so moving on. Dating story, which we just call it dating story.
It's the inexperienced and the experienced.
Yes, which is,
which is honestly a bad name for it. It's
really bad. We talked about why it's a bad name. We talked about why it's a bad name in the What's in Season episode. But what happened in the second half? Or what even happened in the show?
They went to Airsoft.
So he introduces loser friends to her hot friends.
Yeah.
Nothing happened there. Fun fact, nothing happened there.
Yeah.
2 of them had sparks. And then she turned him down.
And then he got hot.
And then no. He didn't only get hot.
Yeah.
He lost weight.
Yeah.
He was the fat one. And he lost weight. And then she wanted to go out with him.
At least she acknowledged that that's messed up.
Yes. Yeah. Because she was like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. And they're like, well, why don't you go ask him out? And she's like, I shot him down so hard. Because she did.
Yeah.
She really shot him down.
She was like, we don't even know each other. We have to make an emotional connection
which
first.
Which is such bullshit. They were hitting it off, okay? They were hitting it off. Whatever. She shot him down really hard. And then he got hot. It's pretty messed up. Anyway, that is such a small part of what happened, but it's important to us.
Then the other girl was dating an adult.
Yes, so the other girl reconnected with her first boyfriend, which happened to be, is now an adult. Was like a senior when she was a freshman kind of situation. Reconnected. They started dating, kind of. And then he said, never mind. and then she got all sad,
Mm-hmm.
and then she said, "I'll wait for you," and that's how that ended.
Yeah.
And he's like a loser too. Like he's not
Yeah,
even like
he
a
is.
he's not even like a cool adult. Like
Yeah.
he's like
So
they like didn't go to college in his
yeah.
first year.
So the term is called Ronin. So what it is that he didn't do anything after graduating high school.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't have a job. He's not in college.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gap year.
Yeah, so he's like a gap year, and now he's trying to like make up for it, essentially. What happened with our main characters? They broke up for a hot second.
Yeah.
And it...
Did they really break up though? Or was it just
No.
like, I'm mad at you and I'm not talking to you?
No, so there was the whole I'm mad at you bit, but then there was the part after that where she was like, it feels dull. There wasn't a spark anymore. Do you remember that?
Kind of. It's that I think it was worded differently.
Uh-huh.
Because she was like, we're incompatible.
Right.
She was like, we don't like the other thing, the same things.
Yeah.
You should be with my sister.
Right, because you guys have more in common.
Yeah.
Right. The show was really confusing.
Yeah, it's also kind of boring.
It's pretty. It had lulls. A lot of lulls.
It wasn't a very good show.
It wasn't a very good show.
Like, it was one of those shows that we were like, there's a Gyaru in it, so we might as well watch it.
Yeah, I mean, high school romance. What can we say? We're suckers, right? We're
Mm-hmm.
suckers. But yeah, honestly, not a very good show. You wouldn't be missing out on much if you skipped it. Moving on to Forbidden Deductions. Also, I had higher expectations for it.
Yeah.
I think, okay, here's what I think is my issue with it. So I made the joke before about how we just got done with like a really good detective show, which was Undead Girl Murder Farce. But that had a lot more things happening as far as it being a period piece, supernatural, like a lot more elements were going on in that. With this one, which is a detective show that is more modern, more realistic, besides the weird hypnosis thing that one of our main characters does. I think I've been kind of spoiled by the Columbo formula.
Yeah.
Of seeing how the crime is committed and then watching the detective figure it out along after the audience knows how it's done. Because how this show would end up going is a murder would happen and then they would gather clues but not really discuss them.
Yeah.
They would gather clues but not discuss them. And then the guy would be like, I figured it out. And then they would just say everything.
Yeah.
All at once. And it didn't really invite the audience.
Yeah, this
into the deductions. It didn't invite the audience into
they shot themselves in the foot with by having Ron, the main, I guess you could say the main detective, the forbidden detective.
Yes.
Speak to
Toto.
Like alone.
Yes.
Away from the camera.
Yeah, so Toto is the one who actually says everything, but Ron is the one who explains to Toto how everything went down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it like I said, it just wasn't really inviting.
It wasn't.
It wasn't very inviting. I didn't ever feel really grasped by a particular mystery. I think the only one that I felt the most like about was whenever they did the observatory on the island.
Yeah.
But that one was also really like padded out.
Yeah.
That
one had like a
had, like,
memorable character introduced.
Yeah, it had like 3 episodes also. That's what I mean. So it was okay. It's kind of all I have for it.
This season
was
very up and down.
It was very up and down. I mean, the thing is that like so while we were like just being really mean about Dating Story and being like Dating Story is not a good show, I would not say that Forbidden Deductions wasn't a good show.
Yeah,
it was just kind of boring. It was just kind of boring.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. I don't know if we're going to actually watch the second season because apparently they're making one already. But yeah. Okay, moving on. Stardust Telepath. Also, I mean, it's just cute.
Yeah.
Another show that is
cute girls doing cute things.
another show that is just it's all right.
Mm-hmm.
Girls in high school having a model rocket hobby club. Main character
Severe social
anxiety, but making friends.
Yeah. And getting better about her social
and getting better about it. Yeah.
All she needed was friends all along.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Which is basically explained in the very first scene of the very first episode.
But it's just cute. So if you want to watch something cute,
and they like fake kiss
with like some slight Yuri undertones.
I think it's more than slight.
They don't.
It's undertones. It is definitely undertones.
Okay, with the Yuri undertones, this will definitely be for you because it's just cute.
Yeah.
It's very sweet. You know, it makes you go, "Aw."
Is the pink-haired girl actually an alien?
We might never know.
We'll probably never know.
We'll never know if she's actually an alien or not.
Except for that one time when she like actually did something kind of supernatural. Remember when she like went away for a second and then the main character was at the
yes, I do.
top of, and she just kind of appears.
Reappeared.
Yeah.
She's like, "You called?"
Yeah, and like that's not explained at all.
No, she's silly.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's a cute show.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next up, I'm in love with the villainess. Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Good writing. I'm glad we stuck with it.
Me too.
Because I was, the isekais, I don't really know about them. But I think I've already said this. I follow some of the voice actors, and I know that it only gets better from here. So
yes.
I hope that they continue it.
Yes, I agree. My friend went on an obsession with it,
right?
And so I know quite a few things about, or I won't say that. I know that it gets better.
It gets even better.
Even better.
Yes.
Because saying it gets better is a bad way to put it because it's already good.
It's already good.
I
guess as far as the season ends with Claire, the one. So we got Ray and Claire. Ray is the one who was isekai'd and is the one who is in love with Claire.
Claire is the villainess.
Claire does not reciprocate Ray's feelings, at least not explicitly.
You know what? Okay.
There's a lot of undertones.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. You know what's really funny? There's like, we watch all these shows, and so I like barely remember like any characters' names, but I remember Ray Taylor's name
because they say it all the time.
They say it all the time.
They say it a lot. They say Ray Taylor a lot. But essentially, by the end of the season, we do get some sort of confession out of Claire that she does have feelings for Ray. So that is where it ends, though.
Yeah.
And once again, this is like, it's very much where she says it, and then she's like, and then she tries to like, quote unquote, take it back. But what's been said is said.
Everyone's like, wow, you're married now.
Yeah, everyone is like, so when's the wedding? Rooting for them.
Yeah,
definitely. They're all rooting for them. I mean, it's just really good.
Yeah,
I think it explored a lot of complicated feelings, especially like queer feelings, because Ray had a lot of, because I'm gay and I like a girl who isn't explicitly gay. Maybe what is best for our relationship is for me to keep my distance. To a sense. I mean, obviously she's still all, yeah, I love you. Like, I'm obsessed with you. I just want to spend, like, whatever.
Yeah, but never expect anything out of it.
But never expect anything out of it, because she thinks that the only way that Claire will still keep her around is if she puts distance between them. And it essentially accepts that Claire will never reciprocate her feelings, which is then pushed by the surprise lesbian at the end, who is there to just push Ray to being more honest with her feelings and being more forthcoming with Claire about how serious she is.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really cool. So would recommend.
You know what? That like princess, I don't remember her name because it's a little complicated. But that rival lesbian princess is like the only character in the show that has been like, how do you know all this?
The only character that has taken Ray to the side and been like, are you a spy?
Okay, you know what? Also, I don't think we talked about this in the What's in season, but we talked about this later in the show. Is all these my thing with one of my problems with isekai is whenever they're like, oh, I'm bringing over this thing I know from the modern world into this, medieval world, because it's always a medieval world, pretty much, which we've talked about that before. How do they know this stuff? Ray makes chocolate. Invents chocolate and mayonnaise.
Yes, Ray is the inventor of chocolate and mayonnaise in the Tome game.
Yeah, like that's not easy to make.
That's not common knowledge.
Yeah, and I'm like, how do you know this stuff?
Yes. So the lesbian princess does question, and she's just kind of like, I don't know.
Yeah, she's like, don't worry about it.
Don't worry. Yeah, she literally just says, don't worry about it. And the princess is like, okay.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not a spy. I'm not gonna mess anything up.
Yeah, she's like, just know that I'm not a spy and I'm not gonna mess anything up. She's like, all right, that's all I needed to know. But yeah, good show. Okay, last on this list is Undead Unluck, which is continuing. Which is this like post-apocalyptic people have.
I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, it's actually really weird. I'll get to it.
Yeah.
Certain people have powers, and there's this book that is God.
Yeah.
And it gives them tasks, and if they don't do the tasks, then they get punished. And the punishments affect the whole world, not just them. So they are trying to complete all of the tasks to gain knowledge about the book so they can destroy the book. That's the rundown of what's happening.
The lore of this show is so confusing.
I love it.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like the world building.
Yeah.
Because like from what you can imagine in the first episode, or what you see in the first episode, you think it's like post-apocalyptic because there's like no one around.
Yeah.
But then later in the show, you see just like regular people doing their regular day lives.
Yeah.
But
they go
like,
to Rio and they're just on the beach.
Yeah. But like also the universe doesn't exist yet.
Yes. Okay. So that's a good example. So of what these rules mean.
Yeah.
So the book gave them a task and they didn't complete it.
Yeah.
So the book goes, punishment. I'm going to create UMA, because they're called UMAs. I forgot what it stands for.
Yeah, me too.
UMA Galaxy. And that's what it's called. Now, before UMA Galaxy, we learn that there are no stars in the sky. It's an offhanded thing.
Yeah.
That the people of this planet, it's Earth, have never seen stars. So UMA Galaxy is born, and they get put in a galaxy.
Yeah.
And there are stars now. And the whole thing is that only people who have powers know that something has changed. Yeah. So the regular people of Earth are not phased. The regular people of Earth are never phased. That's a better way to put it. Because then this was actually a reward.
This is a reward, but kind of inconvenient.
Inconvenient. They got the reward of language unification. So all of the people with powers, they are from all over the world. they all speak different languages. So like our main character is Japanese, she speaks Japanese. But then we have another character on the board, he's Chinese and he only speaks Chinese, right? And then they have these neckties that work as like translators. So they all wear the neckties, and that's how they can all understand each other in the group. But the unified language was English. So now all of the people with powers in the world who spoke a language other than English can't understand any of the people that they are around.
They're the only ones that speak that language now.
Yes, and the people in their in a later episode, we see a little glimpse of it because it was a Japanese schoolboy. Friend comes up to him and tries talking to him, and then he yells back at him in Japanese. He says, "Why are you all speaking English? Like, what happened? Is this some sort of prank?
Yeah.
Like, my phone text is different. Like, you know, it's all English." And the friend's like, "You've been speaking really weird for the last couple of days. Like,
yeah, they're
okay?"
like, yeah.
So that one was like a weird reward because it made, well, there's a lot of like hunting each other and stuff, so it made them all much more known.
Yeah,
they couldn't hide because then, I mean, if you don't know English, then you must be a person with powers.
Yeah. It's revealed later that there's like there's the main group, which are people, their end goal is to kill God.
What I described,
there's another group that their end goal is to basically rule the world. So one group wants to stop the rules, one group wants to keep the rules going.
Yes. And where we ended was just good old-fashioned conflict.
Yeah.
Between the two groups. Our main characters, who are, well, actually, you know, let's talk about the main characters for a little bit. So we have her name starts with an F and I'm forgetting it.
Yeah.
Her and Andy, or Zombie, or whatever you want to call him, Fuko. So Fuko and Andy are becoming closer because that's Andy's whole goal. But yeah, so what we learned about Andy is that he is maybe a god.
Kind of. Basically, his power is broken.
Yes, so his power is broken. He is unbelievably strong.
Yeah.
So he has stunted himself.
Yeah.
With this like card that he puts in his brain. It just like messes up his frontal lobe to where like all the neurons don't actually fire correctly.
Yeah, so his original personality is like
Victor,
who just wants to destroy everything because he's been alive for so long that he's just tired of it. Yes,
and he wants he wants the world to fear him.
Yeah.
You know, he wants that fear. So we do get a moment where we see this alternate personality of Andy, because the UMA spoil was the only way to defeat the UMA spoil, because he was spoiling everything. He was rotting everything. So Victor is released and basically needs everybody to fight him because he's so strong. But Fuko is like, this isn't the Andy that I know, and I'm gonna get to him. Oh yeah, that's right, because she has to, because whenever Fuko touches him, you know, her power is unluck. Nothing happens because she doesn't feel anything for him. She like actually despises him. So she does this thing where she like shoots him in the head and sticks her thumb in there to like yell at him.
Yeah.
And he comes back and they kiss on the battlefield. Oh my gosh. They kiss on the battlefield. It's so cute. Anyway, I'm rooting for them.
Yeah.
That is all I have to say about that. And I'm excited to see more.
Yeah.
And then we had one more show that we started late
Yes, we
Really
started
late.
this show really late and meant to watch more of it, and then just didn't. And what's the full title of the show?
It is Fearin Beyond Journey's End.
Yes.
So it is a whenever we started, I looked at you and I said, "Is this some D&D? Is this some D&D stuff?"
It's fantasy.
And it kind of is. It's fantasy. It's high fantasy. So Firin is an elf. Elves live a really long time. She went on a hero's journey, hero's quest with
3 companions.
with 3 companions, 2 of which are human.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was a
Dwarf.
That's right. So they go on this hero's quest. They literally save the world. Everybody loves. Well, there's like a main hero, you could say. He like, not that he takes all the glory, but he basks in the glory heavily. And then because she doesn't age quickly, we get to see both of the humans pass in the future. There's like a time skip, right? And her feelings about that.
Yeah, because for her, it was only 10 years. Like, what are you making a big deal out of just 10 years for?
Yeah, like our big hero journey was only 10 years. But then, like, once they pass, she realizes that it was pretty important.
Yeah.
It was actually a pretty significant part of her life. And that's why it's Beyond Journey's End, because we actually, as the audience, don't get to see the hero's journey. We just get to see what she does after it. And it's pretty cute. She does take on an apprentice, and it's mostly
Yeah, because her whole thing now is that after her friends have passed on, she realizes that she wants to, like, get to know humans more and appreciate them more. So she, like, goes to these different places, and it's all related to, like, her friends and her journey and things like that.
Right. Yeah, like cleaning up statues and reliving memories and things like that.
Yeah, and her hobby is collecting spells.
Really random spells.
Yeah.
I would even venture to say that they're not helpful. Some of them.
Yeah.
Some of them are not helpful. The one about the grapes, making grapes sour.
Yeah.
There's a spell for making sweet grapes sour. So silly. Things like that. But it seems really cute, and I would like to watch more.
And it is continuing into the winter 2024? 2023? 2024. Winter 2024, so we will talk about it then.
Yes, we got to catch up. But was there anything else that you wanted to mention?
Jujutsu Kaisen also completed its
Happened.
second season. For some reason, I didn't watch it. I just didn't feel like it. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that is about it for this episode. That is what we watched, what we thought. There's some good stuff. There's some not so good stuff.
Yeah, this was a season that we
watched a lot, but we did not like.
Yeah, it was
all
a
of it.
season that we were like, well, we might as well watch it.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the Konich-Yeehaw podcast. I'm Natalie.
And I'm Jared.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for listening. Yeehaw.
Yeehaw.